All right, cool. I got it over here. Cool. So let me start the live stream on because everybody else I'm already on TikTok. I'm already on Instagram. I just don't have it running on the other platforms yet. Okay, cool. Now we're up. Now we're up and running. All right. Hey everybody, happy Friday. Happy Friday. Yay, happy Friday. All right. All right. How are y'all doing today? I'm good. I'm actually pretty good. I'm tired, but it's like, I worked an extra day this week, so that's why I'm tired. Because normally my appointments, I keep them on Wednesdays and Fridays and Saturdays because I need the recoup time. But my days are usually jam-packed when I work with appointments because I work every day, but those are my appointment days. And so I usually give myself a break between my Wednesday and my Friday so I don't overdo it. But I worked this Thursday to compensate for my schedule last week because I was off last Friday because I was at my mom's procedure. So I took that day off. So I still have a regular day today, full day, and then tomorrow I got a jam-packed day again because I have a few extra appointments on my days that I'm working with appointments to offset some of the people that we had to reschedule for last week. So it's like a complicated mess. Thank God I have a great assistant. So, all right. So thank you, Xtina. Thank you, Mama. Appreciate that. All right. So let's get started here. So, if you are on TikTok, Xtina is going to be posting instructions, directions, and all of that stuff. So be prepared for that. I did turn off gifts on TikTok because people keep trying to give me gifts and stuff. And this is free. And people be thinking that if they give me gifts and stuff, they're going to get prioritized in their readings. That's not how I'm working. This is a completely free thing. So I don't need the gifts. I don't need all of that. Thank you so much for it, but I don't need it. And so this is a completely free experience. So just FYI. Okay. So, if you're on Instagram, great. You're right here. You know the drill. If you're on, Facebook and YouTube and Twitter, what you're seeing is the Instagram feed. And so I still see your comments. I still see your questions. So I can still see all of that. So don't worry about that. But just FYI, that's why you might see like a double screen where you have comments coming through, but then you also have your questions and stuff. That's why. Okay, but this is how it works. So I get on here every Wednesday, every Friday. This is my opportunity to give y'all free readings. So for those of y'all tuning in, this is your chance to get a free reading from me. Don't ask for a free reading. Ask your question. And so if you want to ask me a question about your life, you need to be specific with your question because I only have so much time to spend on each person. I'm not going to be giving you 20 or 30 minutes or an hour of my time. I'm going to give you maybe 5 if you're lucky. Sometimes if we get on video, I might give you up to 10 if you're real lucky. But I'm trying to keep it down because I'm trying to get through as many people as I can because there's a lot of people viewing. And I want to make sure I'm giving enough people enough of my time. So if you are on Instagram or on TikTok, you can request to be a video guest and you can do so at the bottom. There are options or buttons that give you a chance to request to be a video guest and I can bring you on and have a live conversation with you. If you want to connect with the loved one in spirit, that is your best route to do so just because it's harder to give you enough information based on just going through comments and it takes too much time and it's just going to be a little bit, wasteful in time. And so if you want to connect with the loved one in spirit, best way to do it is just to get on TikTok or on Instagram and request to be a video live guest. If you aren't willing to do that, it's okay. It's not required. You can still ask about your loved one in spirit. But just know there's only so much I can share with you because there's stuff that's going to come through that I don't understand myself that I need to validate with you or I need to check with you about. And it's just the way it is. Sorry if you don't believe that or whatever. I don't give a shit what you believe. This is just the way it works. And I've been doing this for years, so I know the process. I know how this works. So just FYI with that. So if you're wanting to ask me a question about your life, be specific with your question. If you ask vague or general questions like, what do you see? Or I want a reading or tell me something is not a question. I'm going to skip your lazy ass because you didn't want to ask a specific question. I'm just going to keep moving on, rolling through. A specific question is like, hey, me and Javier, are we going to make it? Hey, are me and, Wretched, are we going to get married? When do you think I'm going to get pregnant? Or when do you think I'm going to have a child? Do you think I'm going to have a child? Those are specific questions. What kind of job do you think I'm going to end up working in on the next job that I get? Or am I going to stick to the same industry I'm in now? That's a specific question. So those are specific questions, folks. That's what I mean by that. Asking vague questions like, what do you see? What do you think about my love life? That's vague, too general. It's wasteful in time, and I don't have the energy to deal with it. If you want to ask about a loved one in spirit, who do you want me to connect to? Asking who do you see around me or what spirits are around me is going to take too much time if you're not going to come on video. And even on video, I don't have time to figure out all these different spirits. I just need to get to the person you want to talk to so I can give you a message from them. Because I'm trying to reduce the amount of time it takes to give you a message so I can get through more people and as many as I can. So my strategy is like, what do you want? I used to work at Starbucks. I used to be a store manager for Starbucks. I don't have time for customers to come up and say, well, what do you have? And they're like trying to figure it out. And I'm like, no, sweetheart, you stood in this line. You've been in this line for like 5 minutes. You've had the menu in front of you. Now ain't the time to ask what we have. You need to know what your drink is so that I can get to it and get it out. So that's my mentality. So that's where I get all that from my Starbucks days. All right. For those of you who are just being introduced to me, just know I can be intense. I am always approaching my connections with y'all with love and with respect. However, I don't have time for bullshit. So if you are easily offended or if you can't handle a gay, Hispanic, Mexican guy on here giving out life advice or doing readings for people in his own way and methodology, get off here because you're wasting your time. I'm going to be myself 100%. So do not waste your time with me if you're trying to turn me into something that I'm not. But that's pretty much it. So, all right. As usual, my statements are personal opinions, not guaranteed future events. Whatever decisions or actions you take, you are 100% responsible and liable for. You can change your future. It's never set in stone. And I am not a licensed medical doctor, counselor, attorney, or law enforcement official. You can still ask me those kinds of questions, but for legal medical advice or treatment, you should always consult a licensed professional. Psychics do not know all or see all. That is not real. That is not true. Does not exist. We only sense things. That's a big difference. And the psychic, depending on their level of development, can sense a whole lot of detail and specifics. And so I sense things and I use that information in my head and I try to make sense of it and give it to you in a way that hopefully you'll understand. Everything that I receive and sense comes to me in 3 ways. I'm either seeing it as a visual or a symbol in my mind that I need to interpret. I'm going to feel it as an emotion that helps to clue me into what kind of experience you're having. I'm also going to have memories that show up because my brain is trying real hard to help me understand what it is that I'm sensing about your future. And so it's going to use memories from my past and experiences that I've had with other people to help me relate and understand those details. So that's pretty much how the psychic ability works. It actually works like that for all of us. Most people don't realize that. They're thinking that they're going to know everything and see everything, and then they're just wasting their time. And so that's how it works for me. When I connect with spirit, I don't see them. I don't hear them. We are not having a full-blown conversation using sentences and words and structure or meaning of that sort. That's not how communication happens with spirit. The way that the communication happens with them is they basically have permission to use me. So they have access to my thoughts, my emotions, and my memories. Guess what? Same process as a psychic ability. And also access to my body. And so what happens is the moment that I try to connect to a spirit, an individual, a person, I think of them as people because they're just people without bodies. Immediately I pay attention to what's happening inside of me because they are going to start triggering stuff within me and I have to figure out what that means. Oftentimes it's pretty specific and direct and to the point. So if I see a number, I normally associate a number with either a date of significance, whether it be the day itself or the month it's connected to. If I get a name, they're going to try to give me a name that I can understand or relate to. So if I get a name that's like Sheila, it could be Shelby or Sharon or Sherry. It's going to be close enough to it. It may not be the exact same name. And it's usually their name, the name of someone that's with them in spirit that they're trying to make us aware of, or they're trying to bring up a conversation about someone that's alive with that name that we need to discuss. So just FYI, that's usually how I associate all of that. I don't know everything, so when a spirit is sharing information with me, there are going to be things you may know much more, you may be much more aware of than I am. And so just FYI, don't assume that I know every single detail that they're telling me, even though I'm having an internal conversation with them. I'm just trying to do the best that I can to make sense of what they're passing along to me in bits and pieces. And it's not a full conversation in my head where it's full language. It's symbols and signs and feelings and impressions. And so that's just how it works. And it works for all of us that way. Just most people don't pay attention because they're too busy thinking about their bills or their soulmates or something else that has nothing to do with what's happening in your cognitive mind, and then they don't realize that it's happening. So, all right, let's get started. I'm not going in any particular order, so I'm gonna bounce around here. Whenever I switch from Instagram to TikTok, y'all will see it on my screen. For those of y'all who are looking at it from YouTube and Facebook and and Twitter, and then I'll switch back and forth. That way we can keep record of the conversation because people love to go back and watch the recordings and watch and see stuff that they missed, because a lot of people miss stuff on the first time, but it's like nerve-wracking. Getting on here in front of all these people is nerve-wracking. So, all right, I'm starting with Instagram. EK928, hey Ferny, do you see me getting a new house this year? If so, should I go after the one I've wanted? I can't tell you what to do, can only tell you what I see. It's not my place to tell anybody what they should or should not do, because I have enough responsibility doing that for myself. As far as like you getting a new house, I am not seeing you getting a new house this year. I do think you will try around July-ish to go for a property that feels very much like the ideal. I just don't think it's going to happen, or it's just you might not be able to match what is being expected. I'm not thinking there's another opportunity that comes up for you in October. I'm thinking that that's not going to happen either. I'm not thinking that you're going to buy something or get something until January. So January of next year, 2023, is when I think you'll find something that'll work for you. It won't be ideal, but it'll be pretty close. So I think you'll get close enough to it. No. Luisa, do you see twins in my near future? I don't. I'm not seeing twins at all, so I don't know why you would think you'd be having twins. So I'm not seeing twins at all. Interestingly enough, you might have a relative, like a sister or a cousin, who might end up having twins, but I'm not seeing you having twins. My Ray. Pura Vidal, Pura Vida, Pura Vida. I'm like totally trying to, girl, I'm like totally whitewashing your handle. Pura Vida TLC. I think that's what it is. Hello, will I get married this year? I'm not thinking so. I mean, there might be potential around September. I'm not thinking it's going to happen this year. I'm thinking it's about a year from now. So I would say this might be more likely to be an opportunity to happen like between next year around March to May-ish, next spring, okay? Here's not to call you out, Reed. I'm not to call you out. I'm just gonna call you out. But this is what I'm talking about, being vague and general, y'all. Like, I need to be specific. You're like, hi, am I on the correct path? Well, if you're on Walker Street, then yeah, I would say that's the right direction to take you where you need to go. So I would say, yes, that is the right path. So you got to be specific, because I have no idea what you're referring to. That could apply to a relationship that you're asking about. That could apply to a career situation, your efforts to save money or build wealth. You got to be more specific about that. So get more specific. I'll come back and see if I can see a follow-up for you to get more specific. And I'll do more mediumship like halfway through, just because it takes me a little bit of time to build up my energy. After, right before I get on these lives, I just come off my appointment load. So I'm like tired, so I have to build my energy up just to be able to connect with them again. So I usually try to do more like psychic questions first, and then I start going into more of the mediumship once I start to feel my energy building up again. Yeah, Farrington Angel Danny. Will I ever get my baby? Is there something wrong with me? I don't think it's a question of something's wrong with you. I just think it's timing. So I think timing is the issue. Interestingly enough, when I think of you, immediately I am thinking of my Aunt Melba. My Aunt Melba, even though she had her own kids, but my Aunt Melba, what ended up happening is that her son ended up having a kid, and he didn't really do enough to be the father, and so she kind of took over and became the mother to him, and so she took on ownership, even though she done raise her own kids. So I feel like I feel like you'll end up with a kid or with a baby, but I also feel that this, I'm seeing 4 years, so this might take a bit of time. This is a timing issue, but also just FYI, I do see you ending up with a child, whether it comes through a natural process or whether you end up being tossed a child because of circumstances and family. I feel like either one of those could happen, but I would say 4 years from now, there's something going on there where I'm thinking there's a baby situation or an energy of a child coming into the situation. Okay. Yeah. Cassandra. Hi, Ferny. My contract job ended and wondering when you see me getting a new job and what field or position. I feel like it's going to be on the administrative side of things. And I also keep thinking of something that reminds me of a crossover between like an auditing, assessing, analysis slash human resources, because I want to put those two together. So I feel like there's something there that you're going to end up doing that has kind of those two things tied into each other. I also feel like with the current company, I'm thinking it's going to be a new job that has a different role or position. I'm not thinking you're going to be renewing a contract with an existing organization. D Love. Is Lewis in love with me? Should I choose him? That's your decision to choose whoever you want to choose. I feel like Lewis is kind of romanticizing a bit too much, so I feel like he's kind of two things with it. One is I do think that there are emerging feelings, but I don't think they're to the level that you might think that what I would say is in love with. But I do feel like there's more of a romanticizing energy there than there is the actual feelings. My ex had the habit of doing this where they would talk about every new relationship like it was this intense, emotional, loving. I was like, dude, you just met this person. It's been like 2 weeks. It's not really... It ain't love. It's infatuation or the idea of being in love. So it's more of that. So I would say that he might be more of that kind of mindset. But it's up to you whether you want to explore that and see if you want to take that further. Okay. I do think that with them, you might find yourself getting a little annoyed or irritated after 3 or 4 months. So just be prepared for that. But that's usually when people's true selves start to show up. This is why most people's relationships don't last past 3 or 4 months, because they have a tendency of going into a relationship. And word to the wise, y'all. We all have a tendency of going into relationships. We present a version of ourselves. And that version is what others also present. Also, they present a version of themselves because that's the best version that would either get more love, get more attention, or get whatever they're trying to get out of the situation. And usually that version is in play for about 3 to 4 months. After that, reality sets in, shit gets real. And that's when you find yourselves realizing who you're actually dating and whether it's going to work or not, because their true version starts to emerge. There's only so long you can like pretend to be someone, unless you're like a psychopathic person, then you're used to that like duplicitous nature. Okay, here we go. Read. When will Dan start acting right? Do you see him spending my birthday with me? So 2 things about this. One is you're under the impression that your version of how Dan should be acting is right, and the version of Dan that you're experiencing is wrong. But maybe this is Dan. Maybe this is how Dan is. Maybe this is how they respond and deal with stuff. And I kind of feel that. I kind of feel like they don't have a very consistent nature. So I also think there might be a little bit off sometimes with the way that they handle situations and stress. So I would say if you can't accept Dan and where they are right now with the way they are, then you're like telling yourself a story about this person that's not true. So you might just need to either accept them for where they are and let it be, or decide this isn't going to work for you. But I kind of don't feel like you're going to get a whole lot of change from this person. I also think, I do think you might connect with them on the birthday. I'm just not thinking they're going to spend the birthday with you. So I'm thinking that may not end up happening. Okay. Yeah, I would say so. Made by Me Australia, Kylie. I think it's Kylie. Am I doing the right thing by stepping back from my parents for my mental health, feeling conflicted, but there is a lot of past trauma? Yeah, I would say it's okay. It's acceptable. Sometimes you got to kind of step away from a situation to kind of figure out who you are or what you need to do to deal with it yourself. I had to do this in my family. I had a lot of trauma with my family experiences, and even with the family members that I loved and that I felt a connection to. But there was a lot of perpetuation of the same energy. And it was like, when you have a lot of people who are used to being around each other and deal with things in the same way, like even if you're trying to get away from some of the people in the family who are toxic or you had toxic experiences with, it doesn't mean that it's, that you can kind of maintain connections that are not toxic when there's a lot of overlapping and overshadowing of time and stuff. So I kind of had to take myself away from my family for a few years to kind of reinvent myself in a way that was more in alignment with who I truly am and not with the version of me that came into existence because of the conditioning and the reaction to the trauma. So I would say it might be beneficial for you. I think you will do this to some extent, but it may take a couple years for you to go through the process. Okay, let me jump over here. By the way, guys, if y'all have anybody messaging y'all or responding to your comments and they're like, like this fool, Kazaya, Angelic, it says, send me friend requests for your accurate reading. These are scammers. They're going to take your money. They're not real psychics. They don't work for me. They have nothing to do with me. They're going to take your money. So y'all need to be careful. There are a lot of people, and I keep saying this, I don't know why people keep acting surprised. They see my name up here, Ferny ESP, right? They see Ferny ESP, and when I say there are no duplicate accounts, I do not message you asking if you want a reading and asking you for money or donations. I don't do that. If you want something with me, you got to go to my site and schedule it. That's the only way, shape, or form it's going to happen. I don't do these private messaging things. If you get that from a name other than this, it is not me. People keep thinking maybe he decided to have a duplicate account. I got accounts that I use that are not Ferny ESP, but I use those so that I can see my own videos and I can record them for people. But Ferny ESP is the only username that I use on Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok, on some of the other things. So it's the only one I use. And so if you see Ferny ESP1, Ferny ESP underscore, Ferny, whatever you see that is not Ferny ESP is not me. So if you get communicated by someone that is attached to that, is not me. I don't reach out to people. I am exhausted. So I already work enough and talk to enough people. I don't need to be doing it on my free time. So when I'm off the lives and I'm off my work day, I do not reach out to people because I'm exhausted. The last thing I want to do is talk to people. So just know that is not me. And so if you get scammed out of your money, that's your own damn fault because you weren't paying attention. Because I have plenty of warning signs, plenty of notifications on my profile, on my detail of my profiles, no duplicate accounts. I don't message people, FYI. And so people keep coming to me, Ferny. I mean, I know I know right when I messaged you, the automatic reply said, be careful of duplicate scammer accounts that are reaching out, asking for money and offering readings. But is that really you? Because I'm confused. Like, I don't understand the confusion, folks, because it's not that hard. Like, it's an obvious scammer. So I'll make it clear, but for those of y'all that still don't get that, put the word out. Ferny, don't do that. Like, I got enough people to talk to on a work day. So just FYI, okay? Susan, is it a good idea to build a house in Georgia to go to during winter months? It's your decision to make. I'm not gonna tell you what to do. I can see y'all renting a space or having a place that I guess is more of like a rental. I'm not seeing y'all actually building something. So I'm feeling like there's going to be more of a understand. Like, for example, back when I used to come into Santa Fe before I moved here from Houston, there was a house here that I love. And it's like one of my dream houses here. And I always rented that house out whenever I came here. So every year, twice a year, I would rent that house out and have it for a week or two. And so I feel like there may be something that y'all are going to do that is similar. Just so that y'all can get a taste of it for a couple of years before y'all decide whether y'all want to or not. I don't feel like y'all are going to, though. So I feel like y'all end up deciding not to go forward with it and just end up doing it this other way. Okay? It would be a good opportunity if you were going to use it as like an investment property, but I kind of can see y'all going through the trouble of building something and then not wanting anybody in your house because you don't want nobody to mess up your stuff. So I can see that being the case in that instance. Angelica or Angelica, Melanie. Hi, Ferny. Do you see my job changing or staying at my current one? I feel like you'll stay at your current one for 5 months. And then after 5 months, I feel like you have a chance to leave. It's your decision if you want to. I don't feel bad about where you're currently at, so I don't feel like it's not a bad situation, but I don't feel, it's like apples and oranges. It's like really like, it's not like I feel like your life's going to be drastically better with the other job, but it's not bad either. So it's almost like, it's like apples and oranges. What do you prefer? So I think you'll have to make that decision in 5 months. Again, example of a general question that has nothing to do with nothing. Hey, for anything for me and my daughter. That is, what do you mean by that, Mama? I need you to clarify, please, because I don't know where you're going with the question. Yeah, Susie. Susie Q. I need to move house and have put it up for sale. My children don't want to move and are struggling with it. Will it be a good move or will it go spiraling into another mess? Any advice, please? Thank you. Yeah. First of all, you're the parent. They don't get to have a say in what you need to do as a parent to make sure that everything's going to be okay. Because children, by default, are going to have their own opinions, but they lack life experience, and they can be the smartest ass kids in the world, but that doesn't mean that they know what's best, because they lack experience, and experience is the other end of it. And so you can have all the opinions in the world as a young person, but until you have the experience, it don't matter, because we need to do what we need to do, and you're the parent. So I think the decision that you need to make is what's necessary. So I feel like you're making the right decision. Yes, it's not going to be easy for them. Yes, one of them, specifically the younger one or the youngest one, might be a bit more of a handful with these changes. But that's why God invented therapists. That's why God invented, get the hell out of the house and go spend your time with some people who want to actually spend time with you. Like, that's why God invented opportunities for people to cope through strategies of activities and so forth. So there's ways around that to deal with the trauma of moving and having to relocate and all that other stuff. But you are the parent. You do what you have to do for the stability of your life and for your children. Okay? Whether they want to or not. Sometimes people give their kids way too much say-so. Because at the end of the day, we are still the parents, or we are still the people who have to make decisions to act like I'm a parent. But I get it, because I had to take care of my mom's stuff, and for part of my sister's life, I had to be her parent. So I get it. I understand it. Tracy Charles. Do you see a job change for me? Not for about 2 years and 3 months. So this is gonna be a while. So this doesn't feel like it's happening anytime soon. Grace Stevens. Hey, Ferny, I'm in a temporary position. Will it become permanent for me? I feel like it will. So I feel like there's like a 3-month thing, and then there's another 3-month thing. So I don't know if the contract's for 3 months, and then there's another renewal of a 3-month contract. But it's almost like I see 3 months, and then I see another 3 months, and then I see an opportunity for permanency. So however long your current contract is as a temporary position, or if there isn't a temporary position, you might have to revisit this in 3 months to see if there's an opportunity for permanency. It may not be available at that time. And then there's another 3 months where you revisit it again. At that point, I feel like there's an opportunity for permanency. So I do think it can become a permanent position, but it might take up to 6 months, but you might have to revisit it every 3 months. Okay. Okay. Let me jump over here. I need to just chill the hell out. Y'all make yourselves crazy, and then y'all wonder why y'all aren't happy. It's like, you make yourselves crazy, and then y'all wonder why y'all are not happy. Okay. Going over to TikTokers. Isabella, Will Gabriel and I moved to New York. Yes, but y'all may have to do it at 2 separate times, just because I feel like one of y'all may have to go first, and then there's like a 2-month difference, and then the other one is able to kind of join. So I would say yes. But this may not happen. This may be more likely to happen around the summertime. So we're still we're in April, so we got May coming up. So I want to say this is like more like June, July, maybe at the latest at August, but I'm going to say June, July, like summertime. Okay. Yes, Tanisha. Was my mom's death an accident? Um, I'm going to say yes and no. I don't think it's that simple. The way I want to describe it is I kind of feel like it was not intentional, meaning that I don't feel like someone tried to kill her life or she took her own. Like, I don't feel that vibe, like it was an intentional taking of the life. But I feel more like the vibe of having the sense of negligence. Like, oh, I'm going to take this and this and this, and I don't care how it affects my system, or I know there's a risk, but that's okay. And then it ends up happening and causes a passing. Or if someone is supposed to check on someone, they didn't check on them. It almost feels like there's a sense of negligence. So it almost feels like it's unintentional, but still due to an action that brought it about. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's not like I don't feel like it was an accident, like, oh, it was a completely freak thing that happened. No, I don't get that vibe. It's more like a negligence vibe around it. That's the way I want to describe it. So like if there was like an overdose, accidental overdose, that's how I would refer to it. So it's like negligence on the person's part because they were not careful with what they were doing. So that's how I would describe it, is that feeling to it. Okay. We could probably get more to it, more into it with her, bringing her into the conversation, because she could give me more information about the situation or circumstance leading up to it. But we need to go on live for that. If you haven't already request to come on live with me. Yeah. Arzati. Oh, where am I going? Arzati. I would love to know if I will ever meet someone since my husband passed away 4 years ago. Yeah, I actually think you're about 2.5 years away from getting into a new relationship. It's going to be kind of awkward, or not awkward, but kind of interesting. Let's put it that way. Interesting. Because awkward sounds like a bad word. Interesting. Because I feel like what may happen is that you may reconnect with someone that either you knew years ago, or that he knew years ago. And this person may show up or pop up in your life, and it may be a kind of interesting reconnect, but it may actually lead to more. So I actually think that it might be with someone that you've already had some sort of association with, or that he's had an association with. But I want to say that this might take about 1.5 years before this person shows up. Person's name may start with a P. If I'm misinterpreting that letter, it might be an F, but I'm going to say it's a P because I was thinking of a Paul. So it's a P sounding name. I'm not sure it's Paul, but it's a P-A sounding name. Okay? Melanie, will I land a better job soon? Better pay? Yeah, give it a couple of months. Sober girl. 11111. Hi, new here. Did I do the right thing walking away from him? As far as like walking away from a person you were in a relationship with or involved with, I want to say, I want to say yes. Just because I feel like there's that feeling of like settling for something that is not that's not gonna function properly. So it's like a dysfunctional, or a connection that's not functional enough, and then it's just settling for something like it. That's the vibe that I'm getting for it. So I'm kind of getting that sense of it. So I would say yes. Jacqueline, will me and my family get a new home soon? It might. So there's a double move. There's actually 3 moves. So the first move I feel is a temporary move, and that may be by June. That move feels like it's. I mean, when I say temporary, I mean super temporary, because I only feel like you move, and then that move is less than 2 months, where you're wherever you are, you're like there for less than 2 months, and then I feel like after that 2-month period, then there's another move. That move feels a bit longer. So that move feels like you're at that new place, and that feels like it's a bit longer time. I want to say almost 2 to 3 years. And then after that, there's another move. That third move is a purchase, or a home purchase. So it feels like it's a more permanent, long-term situation. But there's a first move, which feels very temporary, lasts 2 months. There's a second move, then that's 2 to 3 years. And then there's a third move that leads to a permanent home situation. Oops, keeps doing this thing. Tammy, will I get to buy a home soon. I'm not seeing that happen for about 2 years, 2.5 years, 2 years and 3 months, 2 years and 4 months, around there. So this might take a while. Jessica, will I find love this year? No, you got to work on letting people in, because I feel like you got a little bit of a controlled mindset around love and relationship and how it should be, and you may not really be allowing in the right options and still be attached and affected by your prior experiences. So it's almost like, if when I mention the word love or relationship or romance, and the first thought you have in your head, or experience in your head that you have, is of a past connection, or of the pain that was brought on by a past connection, or an immediate trigger of a past experience, that means that that's pretty much what you're drawing in and what you're attracting in your life, and what you're continuously telling the universe what you want. So all you're going to run into is similar experiences, which are immediately going to like bump up against what you're actually wanting to experience. So you got to work on that mindset. But also, I feel like you might not have the best ideas in your head for what it should look like or what it should feel like. And I feel like you're basing it off of ideas and theories that don't relate to reality. So you might need to work on it a little bit and let some people in a little bit more. I do think that you will find love, but it's going to take about almost 3.5 years. You can speed that up. This is why I tell people these things, and why I tell people they can change the future, because you can totally change the future. But I feel like it's going to take about 3.5 years before you actually settle into something. Okay. Person's name starts with an S, like S C-H. I wonder if this is her last name, because I'm getting it like a Schwartz. So there's like a Schwartz sounding name. So I feel like there's like a Schwartz association to it. Okay. Interesting. Marcus, LA or New York City? I actually think it's going to end up being San Jose or San Francisco. So you might end up in San Jose or San Francisco. So my thinking is that you'll end up going to LA or doing LA, but then you'll end up actually being closer to like San Jose or San Francisco. Not San Jose. Is that the Bay Area? There's the Bay Area, and then there's a place right around there. It's not San Jose, right? It's not. I don't live in California, so I don't really know. So let me look at a map real quick, because I want to get that right. California, here we go. California Psychics. Seriously, like, when the hell have I ever gone to that site? Bunch of fools. Okay, there we go. No, it is. It's right there. Yeah, so it's right there. San Jose, San Francisco. So I'm right. So San Jose, San Francisco area. So I feel like it would be more in that area. Okay. Just to give you, because I was thinking of that, so I wanted to make sure I wasn't like crossing places, because I was thinking maybe San Jose was like closer to San Diego. I was like, am I right? Because that's a huge swath of area, and I don't want to give you some bad information. Lisa, will we move and sell this year? I don't think you'll sell this year. I'm thinking you will move this year, but you may not be able to sell until fall of next year, or summer or fall of 2023. Okay? So it might get a little complicated. Nick, should I take the Little Egg Harbor Township job if I get approved? I don't know what you should do. That's your decision to make. If you took it, however, I don't feel bad about it. I feel like it would be a really good opportunity for you. Okay. The first half year of it, though, is going to be a little bit it's gonna be a little bit confusing for you, just because as you're going, if you were, sounds like you're going to go into it, but if you were to go into it, I feel like they're going through a restructuring, or they're going through a shuffle with two sides or two parts of the organization. So it almost feels like as they're going through this might kind of make the first 6 months of that be a little bit more of a process. But then after that, I think it'd be okay. But I don't think it would be a bad opportunity for you. Um, Misty, will my daughter carry to term? Will the baby be healthy? So there is a little bit of a concern a month and a half before she's due. So if she starts having a lot of weird like pains or indigestion style like situations, or she starts having a lot of like fluid building up and getting dizzy about a month and a half before she's due, she needs to follow it up with the doctor because it could actually be more of an issue with her blood pressure, and also there might be something happening where her heart's having trouble with the circulation and so forth, which could trigger some things to kick off. So that's why I'm like, it about a month and a half, if she starts having weird indigestion pains and then weird sensations in her heart, follow it up with the doctor. If she doesn't experience that at all, then don't worry about it. But I would say about a month and a half, she just needs to be aware, be cautious, be careful. Don't take anything lightly when it comes to like indigestion or digestive related weirdness and also sensations in the heart. Okay, I'm thinking it'll be fine and she'll be okay and she'll go to term, because I'm thinking even with what I'm seeing, I'm still thinking she's going to go to term. But I feel like that month and a half right before, there might be some additional things that she has to pay attention to, so that way she doesn't run into further issues. Also, she might end up having to do a C-section, which might be because either her uterus, either she has a tipped uterus or there might be a tilt, um, that may make it a little bit complicated for her. So that may just add to an additional layer of like, oh, well, now I got to do a freaking C-section. Kelly, will my husband and I stay together? Um, I feel like you have about another year and 7 months before any major changes happening. At that time, it is a decision to make, but I feel like you would have already made the decision way before that, and you just kind of like going through the motions. But I'm thinking in about a year and 7 months, there's a make or break period, and you'll have to make that decision at that time. I'm leaning towards no, but I do think that the issues can be worked through. However, I'm leaning towards no. Okay. Courtney, do you see a boyfriend in my future? So, same as with the other lady that I told earlier, you got to get realistic with expectations and, like, the Disney fantasies, drop that out of your head. The ideals of what it should be like or feel like, drop that out of your head, because some of that might be messing with you, and you might also be carrying some trauma from your childhood that might still be impacting or causing you to kind of push away or feel a bit disconnected more so than you should. So I feel like that's something to work on. I do think that you will end up in a relationship a year from now. It's about a year from now. It's about March, April of next year, 2023. Okay. Person's name is Jerry or no Jason. I think it's Jason. Jason or Jacob. It's got like a Jason or Jacob sounding name. Okay. Caitlin, will I find love this year? I don't feel so, honey. I think it's gonna take a while. You're gonna hate the answer. You're gonna hate the answer. All right. So I feel like you might date someone a bit for a couple years, and I don't feel like that's gonna go anywhere. That may come up towards the end of next year. I feel like it's going to take about 6 or 7 years before you actually find love again or find that kind of connection that could carry on for some time. So you could speed that up. You can work on that if you want to, but I'm feeling like you're going to run into two separate experiences in the future with love, with relationship. And then the first one just feels like it's like, ugh, the second one feels like it's more of a love bond that could lead to a long-term relationship. Okay. Let's bring some relationship, and then the first one just feels like it's like, ugh, the second one feels like it's more of a love bond that could lead to a long-term relationship. Okay, let's bring somebody on, shall we? I'm ready for it. So let me jump over here back to that, and there we go. Okay, cool. All right, let's bring somebody on. Oh, my anxiety is like kicked up today. I'm like feeling this extra level of anxiety today. So, make sure I got the volume on. Hello.
You. Can
I'm
you
good,
hear me?
Sarah. How you doing?
Great, thank you.
Yeah, I
Well,
can
first
hear
of all,
you.
I just
You're like,
want
There you are.
Great.
Hi, Mama.
Okay, great.
What did
I just want to say, first of all, I'm so happy you're well.
oh, oh, there you are, frozen
I
again.
think it's.
Wait, are you on Wi-Fi or are you on your network?
Let me check really quick.
Okay. If you're on one, switch over to the other one because sometimes it'll work better if you're on the network instead of Wi-Fi.
Is that better?
Yes, that looks better. Yes, it looks like it's better.
Okay.
All right.
I don't know if you got to hear, but I'm excited you're back and your mom is doing well.
Oh, thank you, Mama. Yes, it's a process. Yeah.
Okay. We'll continue praying for her. So my first question, my mom's dog is acting super weird, different. We don't know if she's sick or she's mad. She was left alone for a couple of days. Mm-hmm. We don't know if she's mad or she's something going on with her.
Yeah. Do you know she's been biting down harder than usual and trembling?
I think so, yes.
Okay. Y'all need to take her to the vet. I don't feel like this is just behavior. I think that something's going on. I also think that something's happening with the spine because the first thing that I thought of when you said the dog, I saw like whenever I've seen seizures. So there might be something going on with the nervous system that might be affecting their like their I want to say y'all might need to take her to the vet.
Okay, thank you. We'll do. Second question, really quickly. You were able to predict the job that I landed. I was looking for a job a couple of weeks ago. Thank you for that. And I just wanted to see how things are looking for me there.
Yeah. So I almost feel like you came in right at the right time just because within a couple of months, someone that's been an established figure there who might have a lot of say-so is actually going to be leaving. And when that happens, that may actually open up further opportunities where in about now you may have a chance to progress forward faster than you would be.
Great. And one last question really quickly. Do you see me moving or buying a home anytime soon?
Not till I feel like the earliest you'll be working towards that won't be till maybe July or August of next year.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And
enjoy
also it might end up turning out to be a new build or a land with something being built on it.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Ferny.
Mama. All right, sweetheart. You take care of yourself.
Have a good weekend. Okay, bye-bye.
All right, let's see. Going to another person. Let's see. What is going on with my anxiety? I'm like totally like feeling anxious today. I'm like normally when I always feel anxiety and get anxious whenever right before I do this and before I deal with people in their appointments. But as soon as I start doing this, it goes away. But today I'm feeling this like extra level of anxiety and just like ooh, which is an interesting feeling because I'm not used to having it go on for too long. So that's interesting. Let's see. Hopefully, I'll end up on a fight here. End up on a fight with people on like it'd probably be TikTok because y'all TikTokers are cray cray. Y'all can be cray cray over there. Hello.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me switch it real quick.
No, there you go. Hi, baby.
Okay, so my daughter just said, "What if he picks you and you're eating chips?" And I said, "Ella, he's not gonna pick me."
Oh no, fine. Me in the evening, like making dinner. While I'm making dinner, I'm having a snack just so that I can make it through to wait for dinner. I'm bad, so yeah.
Like I wanted to get picked, but I was like, he's probably not gonna do it today. And so like I'm ugly, I'm eating chips. I had the camera faced the wrong way.
Gave up. Oh, she gave up, so let's try it now. So that's how the universe works. What you want to ask me about?
Okay, so it's two things. My dad died back in December, and I've been getting like dreams that are not dreams; they're more like nightmares. And it's really strange, Ferny. I don't think my dad would be sending me nightmares, but I'm also 6 months pregnant, and I don't know if that has to do with it. May have something to do with it. So my sister was like, "You need to try Ferny. Maybe he can, try to help you through that because I don't think Dad would be sending you these." Really scary messages.
Yeah. So question, do any of the dreams have to do with you being attacked or with something coming for you?
No,
Okay.
not attack.
So tell me about one of the dreams.
Okay, so one of the dreams was like my cousin was committing suicide, and then my dad appeared. And then when I told my sister about that, she said that he's actually in prison now on suicide watch, which was really weird because I had no idea.
Okay.
But my dad was appeared in the dream.
This is what I'm talking about, feeling attacked. So in the dream, are you your cousin, or are you seeing things from a different perspective? It's almost like a different vantage point.
Yeah,
Okay.
like maybe I'm him.
Yeah, exactly. So what's going on is I think that he's a bit so what's happening is some of these dreams, because you're pregnant, because your hormones are switching up. This is why a lot of people, when they're going through their puberty period, they start having more psychic experiences, like myself, because our hormones do contribute to elevating and opening up some of those centers, even if it's temporarily. Same thing with women when they're going through pregnancy, or if someone's passed away, people tend to have more psychic after someone's passed away. And so because your dad passed away not too long ago,
Mhm.
and then you're also pregnant, your hormones are shifting. You're in a state of being open and receptive and vulnerable. So it's allowing a lot more energy in. So what's happening at this point is anything that you could potentially care about is starting to show, because you're open and receptive in a way. So what's happening is the dream with the cousin, you're seeing things from a different vantage point, and you're essentially experiencing things from his perspective. And he might be having some things going on in his mind that he is thinking are real, and he's suffering and struggling from something that he took, that he got a hold of in there, that was not good quality or was bad stuff. And so it might have triggered some additional issues for him. And so you might be having these experiences where you're feeling like, the suicide, and it's almost like feeling like a lot's coming in on me. And so that's one version of this. I think what you're experiencing are just perspective changes based on your openness to people's experiences. So that's some of it. Some of it is relief, because there's a part of you that might be, even though you might not be new to the baby game, but a part of you might be struggling to really wrap your head around the idea of being a parent, and taking on this responsibility next, and also losing dad, and then that foundation being changed. And so your that vulnerability is like feeling like you're open and receptive to people hurting you. So there's some of that also being released in your dreams. So some of your dreams are released. Some of your dreams are you perspectives and actually being psychic perceptions of other people's experiences. When I first started having psychic dreams and prophetic dreams, it was not fun. And one of the dreams that I had, I was in a kitchen, and I was a male, but I wasn't me, but I was a male. I had a toddler. I was holding a toddler's hand, and I had a baby in my arms, and I was holding the baby. And the baby would not shut up, would not shut up, would not shut up. And I was losing my patience. So I took the baby, and I put the baby in a microwave, and I turned the microwave on. And I could see the skin to burn. And I woke up freaked out, and I was like, what the fuck are y'all showing? Like, why are y'all showing me something like this? This made me crazy. It happened news a few weeks later. And so picking up on some things from a psychic perspective, but you're also having release dreams as well.
Okay, so that's what whenever you asked me about one of the dreams, I kind of stopped. That was probably the most mild. I didn't want to my dreams have been more like what you just said.
Yeah.
Not exactly that, but really strange, like questioning myself, like, oh my God, am I that person? Is this really me? And then my dad appears in the dreams, and so I don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
it's just really
he's going to be your anchor.
Really strange.
Showing up in the dream, he's there to act as your stabilizing anchor, to remind you of who you actually are, and that this is not, whatever you're experiencing may not actually be you, and that you're still safe, or someone is still there. When you think of the idea of, are they watching over me? That is what that looks like. He's literally watching over you, but he's in your dream, showing up to act as an anchor, to say, hey, it's okay. I got you. I got you. I got you. But what you're experiencing is based on all of this energy interaction that's starting to come in.
Okay. And then you've spent a lot of time on me, so I feel bad, because I know sometimes I'm like, oh, I hope Ferny gets to me, but you take your time with, people. So last question, I won't be greedy. Get Anderson. So my husband and I are expecting our fourth child together.
Mm-hmm.
Go that way. I'm sorry. We have lots of kids. So we're expecting our fourth child together in August, and I only have four kids or three kids. And this was the first time that I've ever had something go wrong on my scan, and I'm really scared. And the doctor said that it could what she found could either mean one of two things. One could mean Down syndrome, which I have no history. All my kids are perfectly healthy. I don't want to say normal because it's not normal, but I've never had any concerns ever. Or she can say that the baby could have, I think it's called fibroid, cystic fibroid, and be really sick, or it could be nothing. But I've been really detached since yesterday's scan from the baby, from the pregnancy.
Mm-hmm. Ultimately, when it comes to, let's see, 4 months. Are you 4 months into the pregnancy?
Almost 6.
Almost 6. Okay.
So 5 months, 2 weeks.
Okay. Hold on. I'm not sure I'm understanding this as clearly as I want to, but here's what I'm going to say. The moment you talk about the baby and a possible condition, was any of this mentioned around the time when she was trying to pay attention to the heartbeat or looking at the heart rate with the baby and the fetus?
Actually, the bowel. Take him. Actually, the bowel.
Okay, so
she found something was really bright around his bowels.
Okay, did it look like two lumps that were next to each other, being bigger than the other, and the one smaller?
No, not that what she told me. Not what she disclosed to me.
I believe, but y'all didn't do any blood work yet, right? Or gene, where y'all check the genes or check the have you done that yet?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did that at the very beginning, at like when I was 2 months pregnant, and everything came back low risk.
Okay.
Low risk, but not no risk.
Can you do it again?
Yeah, they're making me do it again in 3 weeks.
Because here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking this was more of like I almost feel like this feels like a weird image issue in the actual scanning of the fetus and not an actual issue with the, because I feel like this feels weird to me that it doesn't even feel like it's actually there. It feels like like if I take a picture and there's like a shadow in the picture, but it's not, it's like the way the light came through and it just made it look a certain way. That's what I'm thinking.
Yes.
More like that. And so I feel like
Ferny,
additional scan or additional test, it'll invalidate what she was thinking. And it was just more of an assumption on that shadowy thing. That's what she's saying, what she's thinking.
The reason I'm smiling is one of the last things she said is, when I see you back in 3 weeks for blood work, we're going to use another machine. Okay. She said that.
Yeah, because I feel like it could just be the machine itself and the way it was scanning or the way it was interacting, something just might have been weird, because under normal circumstances, I feel like it would be a lot clearer to her based on what she's seen before, but I feel like something was a little bit off, which is why she might have thought to just use a different machine. She should have used a different machine instead of having you go through all this craziness. Yeah. But do
I know.
The test, because I think that'll pretty much clarify some of this. I'm thinking okay, but what which is why I'm a little more concerned with something else, is that there might be a slight fluttering or a murmur of the heart. I don't think life-threatening, but this may come up and be more obvious as the child gets older. So after it's born, when it's older. Okay. But
I think I can deal with that.
One of those things, and I feel like this runs in the family because 2 other people in the family may have the same condition.
Okay. Yeah. My dad just died of a heart attack in December. Okay. Well, I feel like I've taken a bunch of your time. I'm getting off the line with you to tell my husband what you said.
Yeah. All right, baby.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ferny.
You're welcome, darling. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. That was.
All right, jumping around here. Let me jump over. Go. All right, here, guys. I'm here. All right, let's see. Coming over here. Who's on Instagrams? Oh, Instagram. Who's on TikTokers? an edit button or a little pencil in case y'all need it. Let me put the volume up in case. Let's see. Hello? Nope. Nope. Nothing's. Let's see. Hello? My volume's on. I want to make sure my volume's on all the way. Hello? Oh, there it goes. Okay, I can see you now. Can you hear me? Nope, can't hear you yet. So you might have to turn on your volume, Mama. I can still see you. I can still see you. By the way, you have beautiful hair, by the way. Just FYI, I'm seeing your hair and I'm like, oh my God, that hair is gorgeous. See, can't hear you yet. I can see you. I just can't hear you. Let me see. There might be in your, if you look at your main screen, if you can hear me on your main screen, there might be a little pencil or edit button. If you click that, that may be where you can give it permission to use your audio. I'm gonna let her figure it out for a second.
Hello?
Oh, there you go. You got it.
Oh my God.
I just can't see you.
Oh my God. Okay, let me fix that. Hold on one second.
You're almost there. You're almost there. You're almost there. You're almost there. All right,
Oh, wait.
now I can see your bathroom. Okay, now there you are.
Oh my God. I was like, wait, I can see you talking, but I couldn't like hear you.
No worries, Mama. All right. What you want to?
Okay, so I have two questions really about my career. Like, what am I going to be doing? Like, I have a job right now, everything's going good, but I don't think I'm really doing what I really want to be doing with my life. And I really want to know, like, will I be starting the business? Like, or will I be getting into real estate investing? Like, I just want to know, like, will I be doing that this year? Will I be getting into that? That's my first question.
What I feel like you're in it, and I'm hearing an echo on my end, but that's okay. I'm going to keep going. What I feel you're going to end up doing is I feel like you're going to end up going into some sort of project manager or coordinator with a venue or with a company that does events and venues. So for example, like if I'm from Houston, so if the city of Houston was going to hire a bunch of, if they were going to hire a company to coordinate and put on a bunch of events at a park in the city, you would be part of the coordinating process between the city and this company. So there's something like that you're going to get into. You might start off trying to get into a business that may actually have a feeling of that may come across a little like marketing or advertising or promoting, where you would be helping out smaller businesses and helping with their like social media connections, etc. And then what ends up happening is you actually meet someone through those connections that leads to this job that is going to come your way. Oh, I can't hear you. You're muted again. How funny. I still can't hear you. That's okay. Did you understand? Just nod. Did you understand what I said? Okay, you understand what he said? Okay, got it. So real estate, to go back to that real quick, real estate, I feel like you're going to hear from people who are already doing that you would be wasting your time at this point because they are struggling. And so I feel like even going into that at this point, it's going to feel for the next 2 to 3 years, realtors or people who are more into real estate investing, they're going to run into some issues. And so the people who might end up making more money in that industry are going to have more to do with commercial real estate or with, switches where they're switching commercial spaces over to residential because there's not enough residential to support the demand. And so it's going to be a moneymaker for people who go into real estate, but commercial real estate is a whole nother ballgame compared to residential. And so I feel like you're just going to hear from people who are already doing that. Like, nah, girl, just like, don't do it. Don't waste your time because I'm already struggling to try to get leads in and I'm good at what I do. So I think that's what ended up happening. So I feel like your work or job situation may stay relatively the same for about 7 months before you actually go full force into something that feels like it's a personal business. And you'll be doing that side by side with a regular job until this other opportunity comes up through the contacts. And then you start going in that direction. Can't hear you now. I'm just assuming you, because you look happy with what I'm saying. You're like smiling and you're like doing this. I'm like, I'm assuming you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, that's okay. No worries, Mom. I don't want to say, yeah, we're already running short on time anyway. So, but just, I just remember what I said. It's this like venue type thing that has to do with like being a go-between between like events with like organizations like a city with a private company. Okay. All right, Mama. You take care of yourself, sweetheart. Bye, darling. All right, guys. For those of you on Instagram who saw that, like she said, I'm extremely accurate. She says I gave her everything she needed. She's super happy. That's pretty much what I got from all the smiles and all of that. So let me go over here. Let's go to Lola over here. Hello.
Hi.
That connected real fast. You must be on like gigahertz.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm close to my Wi-Fi.
That's why. Hi, Mama. What do you want to ask me about?
I'm asking about my mom. She passed. Mainly of if she's proud, if she sees what's happening.
Yeah.
School.
With Mom, do you know if the 20th or the 22nd is connected?
Very close, 23rd.
23rd. Okay. Because she's showing me a number that was right around. There's another date too. So if she's the 23rd or there's a 23rd significance, there's also a 20th or 22nd date that's also significant. It's almost like when something happens right around another date that's significant, but the other date feels more celebratory. So it's almost like a happier date of significance. So there's a reference there. Okay. She's also keeps. Did you actually go through 2 programs?
I did.
Or complete. Okay, she knows about the 2 programs you went through. She's proud. So that's her way of acknowledging that she's proud of you. She also says she's been trying to tell you this for a while now because she says sometimes you're so analytical and get caught up in your head that you just don't pay attention and you're just over analyzing everything. She also thinks she's doing this. Did you write her letters after her passing, or do you still write to her?
I do. Yeah.
She knows about it. So she's acknowledging this as well. She triggered your cell phone. So a song or a tone might have come on that might have been associated or you might think of that you can connect to her because she's acknowledging that. Are you aware of that?
Yeah, there's one song that comes to mind.
Got it. So she's acknowledging that. She also keeps acknowledging, thank you. Do you know if there's a picture? It's funny because I feel like your mom could be a kid at heart. Like it's almost like I didn't get a chance to experience some of these things when I was a kid. So when I got a chance to do it with y'all, I was super excited or happy to do it. And so that's the way she comes across to me. And what she's showing me is back when I was a kid and where we used to go to like Chuck E. Cheese or where people sometimes would go to like Disney World, where like they're super happy to be in that experience, but then they're also got their kids with them. Do you have a picture of your mom where she seems like she's happier than y'all as kids and y'all are in a picture with characters or with like these stuffed animal things?
Yeah, there's one of me like in Disneyland, but there's one like I'm dressed super funky. I don't know what but in the 90s. But it's like she was so happy and I looked like I was in like the 70s. So,
yeah, she's like letting you know, like she had a lot of fun being a mom.
Yeah, she did.
And it was like her way of being a kid again because it's like, was her family a little stricter? Did she come from a stricter family?
Armenian, and there's actually a lot going on with that. That was my other question was after she passed, it was like nothing.
Yeah, so because she makes me feel like
I was curious if you picked up on that. It's been
I almost want to say your mom felt like the black sheep of the family. Yeah. And it's almost like we accept you, but we're not embracing you. And it's almost like your mom tried to hold those connections together. And I feel like after she passed, like that's just how they are. Yeah. I also think there's a lot of religious ideology that might be attached to that, where she was different from just the family. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So she's acknowledging that. She doesn't want to blame you. She says, you don't deserve to not be loved. You were loved. And I love you. And so she wants to make sure you understand it. Do you have her glasses or sunglasses?
I do. Yeah.
Okay. Got it. She's acknowledging that. She's also, interestingly enough, I'm seeing drawing on my skin. Had you thought about getting a tattoo?
I have two. I have two. My dad has one.
Perfect. Yeah. So she's acknowledging the tattoo. So she's making reference to that.
She always says, love you more. It's right here.
Perfect. So she's acknowledging that. She's saying, I love you more. But because I'm dead, I get away with winning that argument. So she's letting you know she loves you more. She's doing this. And I'm also seeing, it's weird because it's like a symbol of hope. Do you have a necklace that is representing the symbol of hope or the symbol of like having hope or having faith?
There's one that my cousin just got me, and like you could see through it, and it shows like a picture. So it's me, my mom, and my dad, and it's on right now.
Ah, got it. Okay. So she's just acknowledging the necklace. She also, thank you. Is there a flower or something flower in that picture in the necklace?
I don't think so. No.
It's like a star or a flower shaped thing that's like either on the wall or like on it's like there in the background somewhere.
Yeah,
So there's something.
from the flash of it, it shows right above her head.
Oh, perfect. Because she's showing me this star, this looking thing. Perfect. She's just confirming what I said. She also keeps thank you. The 27th also. Do you know the 27th is also connected?
May have to think about it, but
Okay.
all around
Either
that 23rd
the 27th of a month or February 7th. So just FYI, that would be the number there as well. She loves you. She's with you, sweetheart. She's showing me a baby. Did she have a miscarriage or was there a baby? I'm sorry. Is there a baby on the way? Or
no, there's not.
Do you know
my
there was
cousin just had a baby.
Okay. Let me ask her.
Yeah.
Is your dad's side of the family?
Yeah.
Did your dad's mom also passed?
Yeah.
Okay, this is the other person. So your grandma's also wanting to make her presence known because your mom's having a conversation. Your grandma's like, I gotta get in. So your grandma is wanting to say hello and acknowledge this. She showed me the baby. She's excited about the baby that just came into the family. She also keeps acknowledging, thank you, Rani. Do you know there's a Rani or Ranik sounding name connected to the family?
Rani.
So I want to associate it like my sister. My sister's Rini, or it could be perceived as Renee. It's Rene, but it sounds like Rani or Ranik sounding name.
Okay. Is Josephine too far?
It's way too far. That's like
way too far.
Yeah, it's like Rani or Ranik, and I want to say it's a nickname because the name may have actually been a lot longer.
Okay.
Okay, it could have been Rina, and I'm misinterpreting how I'm seeing it, but it's Rani or Ranik or Rini or Rina sounding name.
Okay.
So it's got that vibe to it. I want to connect it to your. It's a female. It's someone that's alive.
Okay. Someone that's alive with Ringa. Okay.
That's okay. I want to say it's a relative to your mother that is not her direct family.
That is not her direct. Okay. Like so family friend?
Like a cousin or a family friend. Yeah. Because I feel like you might still have a chance to have ties to your mom's people that are not her direct family. Okay. So I feel like there may still be a chance to connect with someone that's like an extended family or someone that also had a similar experience with the family in the way that they all had to deal with it.
Okay.
Okay. Gotcha. All right, sweetheart. Well, you take care of it.
So much,
You're
Ferny.
welcome, darling. You're welcome, sweetheart. Bye-bye. All right. Going over to somebody else. Here. I get sometimes I get these random chills and surges of energy that go up my spine. You can call it Kundalini if you want to, but it's just random chills and they come all the way up into my crown. It gets a little overwhelming. Christy, 2 years and it's a part of the better deal. So you might still have to deal with prison time or with a facility for 2 years, but there's still additional stuff to that, but it's part of the better deal, okay? Waiting for this person to come on the video. What time is it? I'm getting close. I'm gonna make something special for dinner tonight. I'm making zucchini, chopped zucchini with a ground beef mixed with tomatoes or onions. It's kind of like a stuffing type thing in red peppers. Some of the stuffed red peppers with a little bit of cheese on top and then maybe some rice on the side. So I'm making that for dinner, but I was gonna wait till tomorrow because I don't have lives on Saturday, so I have more time to cook. Okay, that person didn't join. So let me go to somebody else because that didn't connect. Hello, Karen.
Carrie.
Oh, Carrie. Hi, Carrie. How you doing?
I am
Carrie
doing great.
Ann. I see. I get it now. Got it.
Yeah.
How you doing, sweetheart?
Good. So,
Good.
Ferny,
you might have to turn on your camera because I can't see you unless you don't want to be on camera. It's fine.
I don't know why it's not now.
Let's see. It's a little like pencil or edit button. So when you click that, I think it opens up a menu option or something, and then you can give it permission.
There's an X up there. I'm afraid it will cut me out.
No, I don't think it's the X. It's like a little pencil or edit.
Giving it to me.
If it might even be in the actual window that I'm in, if I'm in like a separate window from where your picture's at.
And see, I do this. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
You did it! Yay!
There we go.
I knew it. I knew it.
I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
So I have a
Before you say anything,
yeah.
you may need to get your hormones checked and possibly keep an eye on your thyroid, because there's a little bit of an imbalance with your pituitary and also the thyroid. If you start feeling a little bit depressed or low energetically or feel super sensitive to other people, and to the extent where it's anxiety and paranoia, you need to get your hormones checked, because it may be a hormonal thing and not actually like an illness.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
I was recently demoted, and I want to know if the woman who ended up in my position, is she going to be able to do well?
Do you know if she's actually connected, related, or somehow affiliated to one of the people that already work there?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Unless there's something I don't know.
The reason why I'm asking is because when I think of that situation, what I'm reminded of is I'm reminded of when I used to work for a doctor's office, and I was doing a pretty good job, but the woman that worked there did not like me, and I kind of stepped into her husband's position because she was trying to get her husband employed in that role. And so she kind of put out a bunch of like really like pretty much lied to the doctor. Oh, he's not doing this, he's not doing that, he doesn't want to work hard. But every day I would be like, hey, I'm supposed to clock out. Is there anything else you need me to do? Can I help you with something that you're still working on? And oh, no, you're fine, you're fine. But then telling the doctor he doesn't work hard enough, he's not a team player. So she was trying to get her husband into the position. So I feel like with the situation you're talking about, it almost feels like there's like this insider vibe of like trying to get somebody into role and trying to pull them into something to kind of make room for it. Do you know what I'm saying?
That feels like what she's doing to me now, because I got demoted, so I'm still there. I didn't fail just because of her. It was not enough support in the company and a lot of other reasons.
Yeah.
Not following through on things that they had said. So, I just want to know if they're going to step up and back her up or support her, if she's going to be successful.
The one that's in your role now? The one that's in your role now? Yeah. I feel like it's going to feel like an injustice to you. And I feel what's going to end up happening is that in about 5 or 6 months, you're just going to feel so frustrated and pissed off about the whole situation that you might start looking for other options.
I already am. So I wanted to ask you about work. What do I do?
Yeah.
I don't know that in the right field.
I actually think that you're going to end up in another job opportunity in about 5 or 6 months from now, because I feel like it's going to take I feel like the process of actually getting employed with another company, it's going to take almost 2 months, which is a long time. But I think the reason why there's a delay is because when you actually get pulled into, when you have the opportunity to start that rolling, it almost feels like there's some delays with the people who are hiring, because either they're out for a bit or something's going on, so you just have to wait on them. But I do feel like in about 5 or 6 months, there's another job that comes up that's an opportunity for you. It feels like you'll get paid what you were getting paid before, but a little bit more. And it also feels like it's going to have more of a direct interaction with the person that's calling the shots, or that's having a lot of say-so within the organization or within that part of the company.
But do you see any periods of me being unemployed?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, because I kind of feel like you're going to feel a little paranoid for like 3 months. And then this opportunity comes up, and it takes about 2 months to get it over to that side and that organization. So I feel like you'll be going into that before you feel like this could decline and go south.
What's the best way to handle her? Because she's really gunning for me.
Yeah, I feel you need to be super, super aggressive with just keeping a log of those conversations. If you can record it, then do so. But you just need to keep tabs on all the communication interaction. and make sure that you're not dropping the ball anywhere in any shape or form on your end. So that way you can keep things level enough. And that way, if she tries it, you can, hey, this is what I got to prove that that's not correct, or here's my backup with this. And so and also, did they kind of outsource did they kind of outsource or change their human resources department or human resources area?
I'm in HR.
Okay, so outsourcing, got it. Okay, so do you know if they want to move the HR department into and outsource it with a different organization altogether?
Possibly, I don't know.
Okay, so this is why I think they're doing what they're doing, because what I think is going to end up happening is they don't want to have their own HR. They might actually try to work out an arrangement where they're going to outsource it. And so if you're in the HR part of it, then I feel like they're already going to be making moves to outsource the HR. And I think that will be a finalized process by the end of this year. And I think you're going to see the writing on the wall, which is why you're going to start to move much more quickly with going to a different organization, which I feel like you will already be in one by 5 or 6 months from now.
Okay, so what kind of job? What career?
It is it feels like it's an administrative, it almost feels like it's a resource director, but it's more administrative than anything else. But I want to say it's like a resource director type of role. It doesn't feel like it's it doesn't feel like an HR role. It feels more like it's a resource manager or like a resource, because it's like I have to present the information that is being given to me to the person who's making the decisions. They're telling me so it's almost like I'm acting as a liaison between two different sides of the organization. So you're not technically making decisions about stuff. You're just kind of being more of a communications person, but it's administrative in nature. And I want to say it's like a resource like organizer, where you have to manage and like, thank you. Yeah, you have to manage, or you have to coordinate those efforts between the two sides.
So I can get out of HR.
Yeah. What kind of company? I keep seeing transportation organization. What kind of company is this?
We manufacture and produce labels for a lot of major brands.
The next company I feel is going to have to do with transportation, or is a transportation company. So it does something with transportation.
Okay.
Okay. So just keep your eyes open. If you hear of something, and transportation can be a lot of things. That could be, vehicles, that could be planes, that could be travel. I mean, it is transportation related.
All right, Ferny, thank you so much. And I really appreciate that you do these free lives for people.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, sweetheart. You take care of yourself. Get your hormones checked. You don't go crazy.
Okay.
All right, mama. Bye-bye. All right. So where am I at my time? Okay, I've got a couple more minutes. Let me see some of these questions, and then I'll bounce over to Razia. Visa has been refused. She applied again. Will she get this time? Will get response this month. I feel like this is going to be a bit complicated. I don't feel like they're going to get a response this month. They may not end up getting a response until the end of June or going into July. But I also feel like you might feel like you have to begin again anew or restart that process. So they may have to start that. She may have to start that process or renew it in September. When they renew the process in September, the way that they file it or how it's filed is different than what has been done before. So if you've already done it once and it's been refused, and then you're trying it again, it might get refused again. So I don't want to promise that that's going to work the second time or the current time. But then I feel like, again, around September, there's a reattempt, but the way it's processed feels a bit different in the way it's being set up. And that seems to work better, and it seems to get it to go through. But you may not get that approval. That approval may not come through until early 2023. So be prepared. It may still be a lengthy process. Okay. All right, guys. I love you all. Thanks so much for tuning in. I will be back next Wednesday for our regular lives. Okay. I love you all, and I'll see y'all then. Okay. Bye, everybody.